"You're not supposed to be here." That's what she said when she saw me standing in the doorway. Not hi, not oh my god, not even a fake excuse. Just that. She was sitting on the edge of the bed, fully dressed but barefoot, staring at her phone like it had hypnotized her. Her hair was still wet. She hadn't noticed the front door. She didn't hear me drop the keys. She didn't even glance up until I stepped past the hallway and froze in front of our bedroom, my bedroom, where I hadn't been for the past 5 days. "I thought you weren't coming back until Friday," she said, still not getting up. "Didn't you say the conference was?" I didn't say anything. She tucked her phone under the pillow, as if I didn't just see her texting. As if I hadn't already read the messages while sitting in the car for 45 minutes, parked 2 blocks down, heart pounding like a ticking bomb in my throat. I watched her face. Not guilty, not panicked, just irritated, like I was the one ruining her evening. She stood up and walked past me, barefoot, casual, like nothing had happened, like the past week of messages didn't exist. Like, "Don't forget to delete the photos," wasn't still burned into my brain. "Can we not do this right now?" She mumbled. That's when I saw it. A second glass on the nightstand. Half full. Sweating. The bathroom door was slightly ajar. There was a hoodie on the counter. Not mine. I said quietly, "Whose is that?" No answer. So I walked in. Slowly. Pushed the door open. Empty. But the shower was still dripping. And there was steam on the mirror. I turned back to her. And that's when the knock came at the window. A soft tap. Tap tap. Like someone didn't expect me to be here. Like someone had gone around the back, barefoot too, quiet as a ghost, thinking she was still alone. She gasped. But not because she was scared. No, because he was early, and I was not supposed to be home. The knock at the window was soft, but it hit me like a hammer. Tap tap. Like something out of a horror movie. Except this wasn't a ghost. This was real. And I could tell by her face that this wasn't the first time it had happened. The expression she made wasn't fear. It was calculation. A fast, internal scramble. How much did I see? How much do I know? How do I cover this fast enough to keep the lie intact? She ran to the curtain, yanked it closed. I didn't even move. My body felt like it had been poured full of cement. I just stood there, arms at my sides, mouth dry, heart stuck in my throat. She turned back toward me with a strange look. Not guilt, not panic, almost annoyance. "I swear, it's not what it looks like," she said, brushing hair behind her ear, like we were in some teenage soap opera. But I hadn't said a word. I hadn't accused her. I hadn't raised my voice or even pointed a finger. And somehow, that made it worse. Because the truth was hanging between us, choking the room. And she was still trying to pretend it could be folded up and tucked under the pillow like her damn phone. Then came the voice. A low murmur from outside. "Ash, babe?" I felt everything inside me collapse. Like my bones turned to paper. Her real name was Ashley. I called her Ash sometimes. But only when we were alone. And now some stranger was out there in the dark using my nickname for her like he owned it. Like he was the one who got to say it now. I walked to the dresser and opened the top drawer. It was mine, or it used to be. Socks. T-shirts. A photo of us from 6 years ago stuck behind a movie stub. I stared at it while she stood there, arms crossed, like I was the one who had done something wrong. "You're being dramatic," she said finally. "It's complicated. You don't understand." I turned to her slowly. "How long has it been going on?" She hesitated, just for a breath. But that was enough. That hesitation told me everything I needed to know. "I didn't plan this, okay?" she snapped. "It just happened, and we were already falling apart anyway. You've been so distant lately, and I didn't know how to talk to you anymore. Everything got boring. Predictable." I nodded. That word again. Boring. It was like being punched in the soul. "Who is he?" I asked. She rolled her eyes, like the question was beneath her. "His name's Kyle. She stopped herself, like saying too much would cost her something. The back door creaked open. Footsteps, careful ones, padded into the kitchen. "Kyle, don't," she called out, but it was too late. I saw him. Maybe 28. Tight shirt. Gym haircut. The kind of guy who probably practices his smirk in the mirror before heading to brunch. He looked at me like I was the intruder in my own home. "Dude," he said with this little shrug. "I didn't know you'd be back early." I didn't reply. I couldn't. I just stared at him. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience, like I was watching someone else's tragedy unfold in front of me. Ashley stepped between us. "Wendell, please," she said, softening her voice like she suddenly remembered I was human. Can we just talk about this somewhere else? Just you and me? But I couldn't stop looking at Kyle. Not with hate, not even jealousy, just confusion. Because I honestly couldn't figure out what part of this she thought was forgivable, or fixable, or worth trying to smooth over with a conversation. I walked past them, grabbed my jacket, keys, my phone charger. I didn't say goodbye. I didn't slam the door. I just stepped outside and let it close quietly behind me. But I didn't leave right away. No, I sat in my car across the street, parked under the streetlight, watching our bedroom window glow dimly behind the curtain she had closed. And I waited, not because I was weak, because I wasn't done yet. What she didn't know, what neither of them knew, was that I already had the messages, the photos, the hotel receipts, the spare phone she thought I didn't know about. This wasn't just betrayal. This was war. I didn't go to a hotel that night. I drove for a while. No destination. Just the rhythmic hum of tires and the occasional green light slicing through the windshield like judgment. At some point, I ended up behind an all-night laundromat. No one there, but a woman asleep with her head on a dryer. That felt right somehow. Broken people orbiting quiet places. At 3:12 a.m., I opened my laptop. Not because I wanted to, because I had to. I'd found the backup sync weeks ago, a hidden Google Drive folder linked to her old phone. She'd forgotten it still updated every now and then. Screenshots, notes, auto-uploaded photos. Nothing new in months, until now. There it was. K plus a weekend, love, a folder name so smug it made my stomach turn. I clicked. They were in a cabin, mountain somewhere. She was in a hoodie I hadn't seen before, curled up on a porch chair, sipping from a mug that said hello trouble. He was shirtless in half the shots. In one of them, they were laughing on a couch. Ashley had her legs over his lap, like she'd known him forever. She looked happy, so deeply happy it crushed me. She never looked that way with me anymore. Maybe she hadn't in years. There was a short video. I should have deleted it. I should have slammed the laptop shut. But I watched. She was recording him. He was playing guitar, badly, and she was giggling from behind the camera. Then she said something I'll never forget. "This is real, right? Like, we're actually doing this?" He nodded. "It's real. You're not going back." I paused it right there. Not because I was done, but because I realized something chilling. That video was dated 2 days before our 10th anniversary. 2 days before she sat across from me at our favorite Italian restaurant, fake smiling through pasta, holding my hand with the same fingers she used to trace that other man's chest. She had already made up her mind. She was never planning to stay. And yet she stayed. Like she was buying time. Like she needed something else before she let me go. I didn't sleep that night. But somewhere between sunrise and the first early commuter honking past me, I stopped feeling broken. I started feeling curious. What exactly was she still hiding? Because suddenly, it felt like this story was a lot bigger than some cheap affair. By the next morning, everything about the house felt artificial. The hallway smelled like her perfume, but it didn't feel like her anymore. The bed was made, too neatly. Her toothbrush had been replaced with a new one, still sealed in plastic. That meant he'd stayed over more than once, and she'd sanitized the details like I was too dumb or too dull to notice. I wasn't supposed to be home that day, but I came back just long enough to grab one box. Not to pack, not yet. I was playing it cool, playing it like I didn't know anything. Let her think I was still foggy, that I'd just had a rough night and didn't want to talk. She bought it easily. That scared me more than anything. She wanted me oblivious. She was used to me being predictable, but I wasn't the same man anymore. Not after seeing what I saw. While she was upstairs in the shower, I went to the one place I never used to touch, her home office drawer. I always respected her creative space, as she called it. A messy pile of receipts, journals, old planners. But now I dug through it with surgical focus. That's when I found the envelope. It was buried under a stack of handwritten notes and unopened mail. No label, just a thick manila envelope sealed with a single piece of clear tape. I opened it. Inside were scanned documents. Not copies, not printouts. Originals. And something was immediately off. The first sheet was a contract, but not one I recognized. It was addressed to someone named Ashton Green. That's not her name. Ashley's full name is Ashley Diane Mercer. I've seen her signature 1,000 times. But the one on the contract? It wasn't hers, not exactly. It looked like hers, but with a different flourish. Same handwriting, but practiced. Almost like she was getting used to signing something else. Something she wasn't supposed to. The second page was worse. It was a life insurance form. Open policy. Recently updated. With my name still listed as the primary. But hers was listed as Ashley Green. Same last name as the guy from the video. Kyle Green. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just an affair. This wasn't a fling. This was a plan. A slow erasure of me. Of my name, my place, my presence. She was folding into another identity. A new life, step by step. And I had been too dull, too trusting, too careful to see it. Until now. I closed the drawer, resealed the envelope, and left the house before she got out of the shower. She texted me 5 minutes later like nothing was wrong. You okay? You left fast. Red heart. I didn't respond. Because I had a new goal now. Not to scream. Not to fight. Not to beg. I was going to let her finish her little game. And then I was going to destroy every piece of it. I wasn't supposed to be in the house that night. She thought I was out with coworkers, grabbing drinks. That's what I let her believe. I even texted her a fake photo of a beer on the bar. Easy to find online, quick to crop. She replied with a thumbs up and one of those soulless, have-fun messages. No concern, no curiosity, just distance. But when I slipped quietly into the house 2 hours later, the lights were off and her car was still in the driveway. That surprised me. I expected it to be gone. I stood in the living room, listening. No voices, no movement. But I saw a faint glow coming from her office down the hall. That's when I saw it. Her laptop was open, not asleep, wide awake. She'd gone upstairs, probably to shower or change, but she'd left everything wide open, as if I wasn't even a factor anymore. As if I didn't exist. At first, I hesitated. Even after everything, part of me still felt like this was crossing a line. But then I reminded myself, she'd crossed the line first. Hell, she'd paved a runway over it and invited another man to land. So I sat down. The screen showed a document, a message, a draft email, unsent. Subject, just a few more weeks. I read the first line out loud without realizing it. He still doesn't suspect anything. I thought he'd catch on when Kyle came to the house, but nope, Wendell's too passive. Always has been. My throat tightened. We just need to be careful about the joint accounts until the switch is done. I'll handle the attorney. I don't want to spook him. He'll go along with anything if I keep pretending we're fine. She had a plan. A long one. Not just cheating. Not just leaving. She was grooming me for an exit I wouldn't even realize had happened until I woke up divorced, broke, and blamed. I kept reading. She'd opened a second account under her middle name and moved money without telling me. She had been transferring in small chunks, grocery reimbursements, fake refunds, duplicate charges. I never noticed. I trusted her. She was months into it. I took screenshots of everything. Every page. Every tab. Email drafts. Bank transfers. A folder called Restart that was filled with PDFs, legal consultations, job relocation offers, housing listings 2 states away, all under her new last name. She wasn't just starting a new life. She was erasing me from it. I heard the shower upstairs shut off. I had seconds. I logged out, adjusted the chair just how she'd left it, turned off the screen, and slipped back out the door into the night like a shadow. I wasn't angry. Not yet. I wasn't going to confront her. Not until it hurt the most. Because she thought I was still passive. Still that blank wall she could talk circles around. But now I had the truth. And she had no idea how loud silence could be when you used it the right way. The next week, I became exactly the man she thought I was. Quiet. Predictable. Forgettable. She'd look at me across the table, expecting me to talk. I didn't. She'd leave her phone face up with messages half hidden, testing me, baiting me. I ignored them. When she hugged me, I let her arms wrap around a version of me that no longer existed. That silence. It was the sharpest weapon I'd ever held. I watched her grow bolder, more reckless. She started leaving little clues around the house, almost like she was daring me to react. A receipt from a steakhouse I'd never been to. A pair of earrings she never wore around me. A strange name written on a sticky note. M. Ellis. Confirmed Thursday. I didn't ask. I just observed. And then I began planting my own trail. First, I removed my name from one of our joint credit cards, quietly. Then I moved my savings to a separate bank. Then I requested paper statements be mailed to A.P.O. box I opened under a different name. I didn't delete anything. I didn't hide anything. I just drifted, slowly, out of her financial orbit. Meanwhile, she kept pretending we were okay. She wanted the illusion to stay intact. She needed it. I think that's what scared her most, the fact that I wasn't crumbling. I wasn't pleading or picking fights or demanding answers. I wasn't doing anything, because that made it harder to control the outcome. Then came the night she broke the pattern. She walked into the kitchen while I was doing dishes, like always. But this time, she had her phone in her hand, open. She showed me a picture of a beach rental in North Carolina. "I'm thinking of booking this for us," she said softly. Like a reset. Just the two of us. No distractions. A month ago, I would have clung to that offer like a lifeline. I would have smiled, hugged her, asked what changed. Now, I just dried my hands, glanced at the phone, and said, "Looks peaceful." And I went upstairs. That night, she didn't sleep beside me. I heard her downstairs until 3 a.m., pacing, whispering on the phone. She thought she had me cornered in confusion. But the truth was, I was already gone. I'd already found the name of the man helping her, the lawyer she thought was invisible in her browser history. I'd already contacted him from an anonymous email, pretending to be her. I'd already seen the draft she'd written, how she planned to serve me first, spin the narrative, keep the house, and frame it all as mutual. She wanted to be the victim of a loveless marriage. I was going to give her something much better. An empty house, an empty account, and a silence so absolute it would echo for the rest of her life. She didn't see it coming. None of it. That was the most satisfying part. I waited until she left for her fake therapy session. I knew she wasn't going to a therapist. I'd followed her once, just to confirm. She parked outside a boutique gym for 45 minutes, sat in the passenger seat of a silver SUV, and came home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine. I gave her 3 full hours. That was all I needed. I didn't take anything dramatic. No slashed photos, no furniture dragging, no broken plates. That's not who I am. I took the essentials, my documents, my tech, my notebooks. I left the wedding album right where it had always sat, on the living room shelf, third one down, gathering dust beside an old candle she never lit anymore. But I did leave one thing behind. An envelope, not taped to the mirror, not some dramatic note on the bed, just slid gently into the top drawer of her office, where she kept her receipts and hidden phone bills, and that stupid pen she only used when signing something she thought mattered. Inside the envelope, printouts, screenshots, the video from the cabin, and a sticky note with 4 words. I noticed everything. W. No threats, no begging, no accusations, just undeniable proof that I saw behind the curtain and walked away without applause. Before I left the house, I paused in the doorway one last time. It didn't feel like mine anymore. I couldn't even picture the version of me that used to live here. That stupid, hopeful guy who brought her tea when she said she had a headache, who fixed the kitchen light at 1 a.m. so she wouldn't feel the wrong vibe. That man didn't exist now. I had buried him the moment she whispered to another man that I meant nothing. I didn't block her number. I wanted her to reach out. I wanted her to sit in that house, find that envelope, and panic. I wanted her to see the quiet I'd left behind, not as weakness, but as strategy. And sure enough, at exactly 8:43 p.m. that night, my phone buzzed. ASHLEIGH. Where are you? I didn't reply. 10 minutes later. ASHLEIGH. What did you do? Where did you go? Then the call started. I didn't answer a single one. She didn't even know where I was living now. She didn't know I'd removed myself from the lease. She didn't know I'd spoken to my own attorney 2 weeks before hers, filed quietly, and had the paperwork delivered to her new gym boyfriend's business address, just so he'd be the one to hand it to her. The trap wasn't loud. It didn't need to be. It was cold, thoughtful, slow. And tomorrow morning, when the accounts officially transfer, she'll realize she wasn't just playing the game alone. She was losing it. She didn't take it well. The morning after the envelope, the messages turned frantic. She called 15 times in a row. Then it went quiet for a few hours. Then came the guilt texts. Can we talk? I made mistakes, but you shutting down like this is cruel. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. But by then, I was already 200 miles away. The new place was small, temporary, but it had windows that faced a lake and silence that didn't feel like punishment. It felt like oxygen. I could breathe again without waiting for the other shoe to drop, without translating every glance or pause or sigh into a coded message of what I'd done wrong that day. I didn't tell anyone where I was. I needed the stillness. I needed to remember who I was before I became a ghost in my own home. And slowly, I came back to life. I picked up a sketchbook again, something I hadn't touched in years. I reconnected with my brother, who I hadn't seen since Dad's funeral. I even started helping out at a community center nearby, teaching teens basic editing and design. I laughed again. Not often, not fully, but enough. Weeks passed. Then one evening, just before sunset, I heard the knock. 3 slow taps. I didn't have to check the peephole. I already knew. She stood there in a coat too light for the weather, mascara smudged like she hadn't slept in days. She looked smaller somehow, like her confidence had cracked around the edges. "I just want to talk," she said softly, eyes flicking past me, like maybe she expected to see another woman. I stepped outside, closed the door behind me, but didn't invite her in. She stood there shivering, trying to piece together a version of the story where she still had control. But I didn't give her one. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't ask why. I just said this. "You said I was nothing, that I didn't matter. You made sure I believed that for years. But now, I finally see it wasn't me who didn't matter. It was us. You killed that, not me." Her voice cracked when she tried to say she was sorry, but I didn't need it, because I wasn't here for her closure. I was here for mine. I thanked her, not sarcastically, genuinely, because without her betrayal, I might have stayed trapped in that slow suffocation for the rest of my life. I might have spent forever being someone she barely noticed, giving love to a wall that never echoed anything back. Then I walked past her, not out of anger, but because I was walking into something better. Freedom, clarity, and a version of myself I hadn't seen in years. One that finally remembered what it meant to be enough. She didn't follow me. She just stood there on the porch, staring at the door I wouldn't open again. And I kept walking.